school today, and he had something that was like picture the Lorax that he drew, and then like how are you going to help save the environment? And it said like pick up GRBJ, and I was like, what is that? Garbage. Yeah.
I speak that language.
Yeah. I was like, at first I was like, I don't understand what that says, buddy. Gerberg, the purge. Oh, garbage.
That's how they hear it.
Yep. That makes a lot more sense than how it's spelled, I guess.
Hi, Ann. Hi, Nick.
How's it going?
All right. Yes. Sit closer to you, Nick.
Yeah.
Coughing and hacking and going.
Okay. What time we got there?
6 o'clock in the button.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
Yeah, exactly.
Motion to approve the minutes, Mr. Chair. Do you want me to list each date or?
No. As
Second.
written?
As written.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Patrick Kozadowski? Okay, let's hold it. Okay, then we go to Alexandra Jackson. Have a seat. Front. Just feels weird. Okay, this is a new application. Oh, this is for the adults listed. Oh, this right. Okay, do you know why you're in front of us?
I kind of got an idea. I talked to Ann yesterday, and she let me know it was about from 2014, a retail theft.
Okay, here's, let's see.
The letter I received had something about like liquor or something like that, rehabilitation.
Okay, that, non-criminal.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Alderman Haas.
Yeah, Ms. Jackson, the reason we asked you as a committee to come before us is, well, you're part right. And in 2014, there was a violation, a non-criminal violation of operating an escort service without a valid license. And that's a concern for us. You're going to be working at an adult-oriented establishment. When you have that in your background, that causes us to want to talk.
I didn't even know that was still there. Sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain about it?
So, well, what we're especially interested in is you explaining to us what you've done to rehabilitate yourself, if anything.
Yeah, there was no really rehabilitating. I have a massage therapy license. I went to college for massage therapy. They actually took me from a massage therapy session saying that I fitted the description of a underage escort, basically. They told me the only reason why they made me go in was because they didn't want me to put the word out, I guess, to other people if I knew them, that they were like a sting operation or something. I never went to court for that. I never went, like, there was nothing. They gave me a citation. They told me that the citation would be dropped. It was a court date with it. When I got there to the court date, there was no such thing. The bailiff, the sheriffs, they were like, it's nothing, there's no such thing. It took them a while for them to prove my massage therapy license. I graduated in 2012 for massage therapy, and it was just a misunderstanding. I don't even know why that is still there.
What's that?
And I can't prove that I have my massage therapy license. I graduated from college for it.
Okay.
at the time, I don't think it was proven to them, but then they proved it. I don't know. I guess that's why they dropped it. I didn't know that was still there.
What city was that in?
Waukesha, I believe. Waukesha, yep.
Pewaukee, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. It shows on the works report, it's a really long report with all the things that it was a conviction
What?
for the escort. Yeah, that's what it says. Pewaukee Municipal Court, March 31st of 2014.
Oh.
Sentence of forfeiture, a ticket. So you're saying you got the ticket and then you,
Yeah, they gave me a ticket, and when I went to take care of the ticket, there was no such thing. There was no ticket, no court. They couldn't find it. I went to both. There's 2 courthouses in Waukesha. Like, we were there for like 5 hours. No such thing. And it was so long ago, but I got like note of it and all this, and then I brought the proof of my massage license and stuff that they eventually already ended up getting and having. Yeah, I didn't even know that was still there.
It is, Mr. Chair. Hold on a while.
You said you went to the Waukesha Courthouse?
I went to Waukesha.
Okay. This says it was in Pewaukee Municipal Court. I guess I'm not familiar. Does anyone know if there's a separate building for
Waukesha's who
Pewaukee?
gave me the citation, and Waukesha's, on the citation, it had the address, and the address that they gave me is where I went.
Okay. Well, just so you know, on this report from the state, it says Pewaukee Municipal Court, you were convicted on March 31st of 2014. Just so you know.
Thank you. Definitely gonna call.
Your middle name's Chantel?
Yep, with the C.
Yeah.
And so you never paid a ticket?
I've never paid a ticket.
that would have shown
Never
up on
paid a
the warrant,
ticket.
though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I've never went to court for it.
Have you seen have you ever been pulled over by a car
Yes.
by the police in the last 6
Yes.
years? You don't have any outstanding warrants or anything?
Nothing.
No, that would have showed anyway.
That would've
That was shown. Yeah.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
When I went to the courts, nothing. The address for the citation, I took the citation, nothing. They arrested like 86 people that day. I was the only one that they proved that I graduated from college in 2012 for massage therapy. That's kind of what steered me in a different fit. It's crazy, I work for the state now. I work for the state, so I wouldn't even been able to get a job
Right.
with that on my records.
Yeah.
My
You work
office
for the
is on-
state, what do you do for the state?
I'm a prenatal care coordinator, child care coordination. I help women with children find different resources. I've been doing it for 5.5 years now.
Okay.
I actually started in 2014 after my dad and sister were killed, so I don't get it.
Yeah. And Mr. Chair, if I may,
Hold on, Liz.
I see you have your driver's license there. Do you have a valid driver's license or?
I don't.
And a separate issue? Okay.
I don't. I'm working on it.
Okay, that's just an aside. If you had a valid driver's license, I just saw that you had it out and wanted to give you a chance to show us that it's valid now. But,
No,
okay.
it's not valid yet.
Okay.
I just completed some community service hours for my tickets to be dropped. So I have to wait on that it should be clear now, and then I can go to the DMV, take care of that. And
So you're
it was
working on
over,
it.
yeah, it was over, like $1,500 in tickets for like driving without all of that. I did community service hours for my nonprofit, and in return, they are taking my tickets away. I have to do, it's like $10 per hour or something like that. I had to do 150 hours, and I just completed it. I was with Justice
Okay.
Point completing it all. I
Okay.
went to,
Okay.
Hold on, road.
So your license isn't valid?
no, not yet. I'm working on it. I
And you
had
got-
to,
and
instead
how did you get here tonight?
of, my brother.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, wait.
So Nick, it's interesting that the one report says it's a conviction, but nothing shows up for a warrant. None of that, I mean, she's.
It could have been that the fine was, it says a forfeiture, I'm not sure what result that could be. I know our municipal court sometimes has a ticket that they're convicted on, but they don't have a forfeiture associated with that. So if there's nothing outstanding, there wouldn't be a warrant. I could follow up on that with Pewaukee and see if they have records still from 14. It's possible they do. But I agree that the report that we have shows it was a conviction, it shows it was a forfeiture. Our best information at this point is that you can be found guilty by default by not showing up. So if you didn't show up, that still could be a finding of guilt.
Or if you accidentally went to the county courthouse
Yeah,
instead of
and
the
the
city courthouse.
bailiff there, like, noted it and everything, because the address that was on the citation is where I went.
Okay.
There was a 2014 thing too that you were dealing with around the same time that was in Waukesha County Courthouse. Are you getting those kind
No.
of confused?
No. And she even called, the lady that helped me, I wouldn't remember, it was 2014. She like extra verified with whoever this ticket was from or whatever she needs to do. She said there's nothing. You don't have court. It was dropped. I never even looked back into it.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Haas.
Yeah, given the one charge, or the one issue that I'm concerned about, I think we are concerned about as well, is non-criminal. It is just a municipal ticket. That's an indication of it being a very minor, I was about to say crime. It's not criminal. I move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
And Mr. Chair, just information for everybody here tonight. The things that this committee acts on tonight don't take effect until the entire council votes on it.
Okay.
And that'll be next Tuesday, I believe.
I'm definitely gonna call P. Walkie.
Yeah, you don't need to come likely, because this is gonna come out of here 5-0, it looks, I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Maybe, and then, but, so you don't have the license until you physically have the license. And is this the same
Right.
process for this license?
They have
Adult-
temporaries also.
Oh, you have temporaries, okay. So what we act on tonight isn't finalized until the entire council votes on it next week, so.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman May.
between now and next Tuesday, can you check with Pewaukee? Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Karen Fisher. Okay, Karen,
See my ID too. It's valid.
so,
I even have my
I
passport
don't think
on
that
me.
was the issue.
I even have my passport on me.
okay, well, do you know why we're calling you from?
Yes, because I applied for a bartending license and I used to have one from Muskego. And then I got pulled over and I disputed it in court at a .08. And so you guys are disputing my license, and I'm part-time. I don't drink behind the bar. I literally have a full-time job and I'm a full-time student.
Well, okay, the reason we're calling you in though is because you're gonna have to make a determination whether to serve somebody, whether they had too much, and we look in the past and there was a time that you couldn't make that decision. So that's why we're just calling you in front of us to make sure that you know that, that's important to us and everything. And this was back in 11.
It was actually 10 when it happened.
Yeah. So what we need to know is that you have been rehabilitated on this and everything. so-
I actually, that's one of the things that is one of my biggest pet peeves is people drinking behind the bar. Because I believe they do have to deal with potential fights, and I do believe that they might have to deal with, well, they have to deal with money, obviously. And it's, I can't wait for them to pass a law, actually, because I think it is a paid business, just like any other place of employment.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigl.
and where are you gonna be working?
Red, white, and brew.
Okay. and
For
you said-
Eric.
Sure. And you said you're gonna be working part-time and
Yeah.
your full-time job and you're a student? Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I sell IT equipment during the day,
okay.
and then I'm in school to be a realtor at MATC.
Move approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I'm all good?
Yep.
Next
Starting
Tuesday, the
And
council.
you have a
will-
temporary now? You have a temporary license
Yes.
now? Okay, so if you really want to get the license in a hurry, you could pick it up next week Wednesday, like midday. If not, if you don't pick it up, it'll be mailed to you.
I only work Sunday nights.
It'll be-
I took off this Sunday.
It'll be mailed to you. So.
Awesome, thank you very much. You gentlemen have a wonderful evening, and you too, ma'am.
Okay, and number 5.
You too.
Melissa, Anna called me on this, that from the time that she had originally got I believe it was the OWIs, we've had her in front of us already and given her a license, am I correct?
Correct.
So we would be just calling her in front of us,
This is a renewal.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it's a new one,
Is it-
but maybe she didn't have her license.
Did she let it expire?
Lapse.
So it lapsed?
Yeah, expired. So, well, it's got renewal on here. So, Well, she probably thought it was a renewal because she used to have it, but,
Hers expired on June 30th, 2019.
but we already talked to her on these things before.
I move approval.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Danielle Clinter? And we're calling you in front of us, obviously you had an OWI in 16, so it wasn't that long ago, but there was a list of things that were a long time ago. One of them resisting an officer, which we always frown upon, obviously, because officers come into your bars all the time, so.
That's over 20 years ago. I haven't done anything
Yeah,
criminal besides that OWI since then, so, I mean, totally was not.
Mr. Chair?
Owen Wing.
So we need to know that from that OWI in 16, I mean, so you went through some steps?
Yes, and
Could you
on my
explain what it
payment
was?
plan, I had to go through the 6-week drug treatment course, and I'm on the payment plan right now to I'm almost done. I got like $144 left to pay.
We don't really care about the money, but I
Right,
mean, did
no,
you? Okay, so-
absolutely. I mean, I don't even drink and drive, period, no more. Just, it's not even an option. I have Uber, I have friends, I lost my grandmother, not that it's an excuse by any means, but it was a very bad judgment call that night, and something I deeply regret.
And where are you working, or where are you gonna work?
I'm for bugging out,
Okay.
Where's bugging out? I don't even know where that is.
57th and Lincoln.
Thank you.
Is that Ashley?
The pointed one. That's,
The old tiki
Oh,
bar.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yep.
one of those that we don't hear from, because it's a pretty nice place.
That's a good
Good.
thing when we
This
don't
is-
hear
This is
from.
my boss.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Good.
compliment, so. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Alden Road.
did your boss give you a ride here tonight?
She did. Or actually, I drove here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I drove here because I had to come all the way from the north side. So she's gonna drive me back to the bar, and my boyfriend's coming to get this car. So,
Well, nonetheless, I move approval.
Wait a minute, you don't have a driver's license?
not
No.
currently.
Okay, there was a motion, can I get a second before we discuss? Is there a second?
It was revocated for a certain time until that, because I completed that drug treatment.
Chair will
and then I
second,
gave it to-
the chair will second the motion for discussion.
So, Mr. Chair,
Hold
so
on.
you're revoked currently with your driver's license?
Yes.
But you drove your personal vehicle here tonight?
It's not my personal.
Or someone's
vehicle.
car.
Correct.
What are you doing to reinstate your driver's license?
I just need to pay the $144. I just dropped like $700 on it. So it was just a matter of money, really.
So you've been making payments?
Yes, I'm on a payment plan. the ticket.
That's what you had mentioned before, and the payment plan is to pay off the violations, the ticket?
The ticket, yes,
The ticket is the OWI ticket from
Yes.
2016.
correct.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have any further discussion on this? No? We just, it's not open for, it's debate in the committee, but,
Nick had some.
Nick?
I just,
Go
if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
where was that from? I don't have it pulled up right now.
The OWI,
Yeah,
I was pulled over on the freeway.
okay.
I had popped my tire and I was pulled over already, actually, and
And so it's a sheriff's
I-
case
yes, there was a sheriff that had pulled me over.
in Milwaukee County?
Correct.
And you're suspended or you're revoked?
I'm
So-
suspended. I don't know why I said revoked. I'm suspended.
So the revocation comes from the OWI, but you're going to be only revoked for a period of time unless you reinstate then, right?
Correct. As soon as those monies are paid, I can reinstate. And then then I have to get that insurance, and
That's
there's a
our 22
yes,
insurance, yeah.
in the process, yes.
Okay. And you wouldn't be able to get your license back until that point. I prosecute these regularly, and the forfeiture is what's hanging you up right now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We've had a couple family things
Mhm.
going on the last few years, so money hasn't been the greatest. But yeah, I mean, it's at the top of my list.
It's just, I haven't heard of a scenario where the forfeiture is what's delaying getting it back.
Well, I haven't applied because I didn't pay the money. So I,
But you might be able to get it back.
okay, well, I
Paying all
assumed
the money.
until those monies were paid, I wasn't,
You should check.
I definitely will. I just assumed the money was what was holding me up, honestly. Because I completed all the other steps, so.
And you're gonna get on that immediately?
Absolutely, I'll do it first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna, is your comments have to do with her driving here?
Yes, I'll make
Okay,
sure
go
that
ahead.
she
You-
gets over to the
I-
bar
I will
tonight.
not drive.
I'll make
I-
sure that
Well-
somebody else picks her car up tonight that has a valid license.
Well, but the problem is that you drove here. You knew it was illegal, and that's why, that's where the problem is. So, and you drove here, and you have your license?
Yes.
But she drove.
No, separate cars.
Separate
Oh,
car.
I'm sorry. You got
I
separate
parked
cars.
and they pulled up next to me on each side.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you drove together. I couldn't understand why.
You parked to my left, you were on my right.
Yes.
Okay,
Wait
is
a minute,
there,
hold it, hold it. One car or two cars?
Two cars. She drove alone, no license.
How many people were in the car when you pulled in the lot?
One, just me. Oh, it was me, then he pulled in and she was there.
Yeah. No, in her car, it was just her. If I can, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Chair? Yeah, to me, this goes to lack of rehabilitation. I mean, this does not demonstrate, this is, if she would have been pulled over on the way here, she would have gotten another ticket, she would have been deeper in the hole.
I'm trying to work.
It's only by the grace of God that she doesn't have, I'm looking at her history here, a more recent, yeah. Yeah,
nothing
there's
as
no
far driving
drive,
after
there's no
revocation.
driving after revocations, yeah. Or suspension, or whatever it is. It says revoked on the work stock.
Yeah. And Mr. Chair, just to follow up to Alderman Weigel's concern, when our committee historically has had problems with folks who have a revoked or suspended driver's license, it's because we have operating while suspended after
Several.
operating while suspended after operating while suspended on the list here, sometimes 5 to 10 of them. We don't see that in this case. I think that's a significant mitigating factor.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman May.
Nick, I got a question for you. Can you require something like this be taken care of within a certain amount of time of getting the license? Is that something, can we put conditions like that on? No?
No, not on this, because having a driver's license is not a condition or a requisite for having a operator's license. The issue that we're considering right now is whether or not either there's.
Rehabilitation from the OWI.
Right.
Yes.
It might be
Did you say there's
something that,
rehabilitation?
would I?
Yeah.
It's not his call.
Yeah.
Not that
I
kind
can, I will back up whatever this committee decides
Yeah.
is appropriate.
So my
If-
next question is
If somebody would get a license in between now and then, that
Next
might be
Tuesday.
impactful, yeah.
that's what I'm wondering. How difficult is it to get,
I think it would be a tough sell, to
or
get
at least
the,
pay off the ticket?
that might be, that's possible. I don't know anybody's finances, but, I think getting the DMV to act in a few days is.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
They're real friendly down there, too. And helpful.
It might be a little dead down there
Might be slowing down.
currently, yeah.
Okay, so we still have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
No.
No.
So then do we have a motion to deny?
Mr. Chair, well,
Alderman.
can we hold this till next Tuesday? I don't know if you two would be able to work out a way to pay off the ticket at least. I don't know if that would change anyone's minds.
Well,
It's not a time
you're
machine.
ask-
It's
you're
not-
a- you're asking, sir, you're asking, so would it change your mind?
Yeah, good point.
You know, so, I mean, so you go up, pay the ticket, then you're gonna vote against her anyway, I mean, it's. I think it's bad that she did it, that she drove without a license. But she obviously wanted to be here, so, for this and.
Uber, Lyft, Transit.
True. So,
I'd recommend we hold it till next Tuesday. I might change my mind between now and next Tuesday.
okay,
I'm conflicted with this right now, because historically, when we've seen these kind of things, we've denied them. for driving here.
Okay. Well, it already was voted
Unless-
down, so the
unless
motion
there's-
failed, so we don't have to take our motions back. So if you want to hold it until next Tuesday, I don't think she would have to appear, though. You think, unless she
If
paid,
something changed,
unless something's changed?
unless someone else here has a motion.
Or-
I'll make a motion to deny based on lack of rehabilitation.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to deny. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
What'd you say? Same thing?
Three.
So can I talk?
Not yet. Opposed?
No.
No.
When it goes to council, I can change my mind. I mean,
Technically,
this through a little more.
technically, no, because the issue is done, because the motion.
Mr. Chair, if I may? So again, may I?
You want to still discuss this issue?
I wanted to
Even though we
just
voted on it?
give her
Go
some,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
We just voted on it. It still has to go to the whole council. There will be a period at the beginning of the council for public comment, in which case people are allowed to come up and speak about anything they care to. There's 5 other members of the council, and if you feel compelled to, you can come and speak to the entire council at that time. It'll be about 7 PM on Tuesday. So,
I don't think it's fair I didn't get to speak, though.
Well,
I mean, I hold a Milwaukee license, never had a problem. You just approved
That's
other
not-
people that have had problems, so.
but
That's
they
okay.
didn't,
I mean, I
Yeah,
was just
right,
being
I agree.
honest with you. I had to get here, one way or another. I live on the other side of town. I'm trying to work, I'm trying to generate money. I have children, I'm doing the best I can.
not it.
Talk to you real quick.
Okay, now this next one, Jennifer, it's the same case?
She just called me this afternoon, and I researched it, and yes, she had already appeared on these violations.
On the same violation, so.
And we granted her a license in the
Yeah,
past.
she had a
Okay.
license that expired June 2019 also.
Then I move approval.
She had
Second.
previously appeared
And
in
that's
2017.
Jennifer Munson, correct?
Any,
Okay, thank you.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have number 8, Shelby Ott. You call her in?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay, she's not here. So do I have a motion?
Is this her first non-appearance or her second? Usually we give them 2 chances. But
I don't think we
also-
have, I don't think with our new system we
Well,
have.
we haven't been doing that with the new system. No call or anything, Ann?
No call, no
Yeah,
response.
right, Mr. Chair, this individual is on parole for aggravated battery and forgery. I move for denial.
Second.
For non-appearance?
For
or-
non-appearance and the record, based on the record.
Okay, Alder May second that?
Yes.
Is there any further discussion?
Where is she gonna be working? You have her application, I'm just curious. Guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, she's.
No, it doesn't matter,
Where
really.
was she going to
Yeah,
be
never
working?
mind. It would be on the application itself.
Doesn't matter.
No, try to find
Should be there.
it. It's in one of there. Remedies.
A bar that's not in existence
Yeah,
anymore.
they're not existent either, so maybe she's not
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah, maybe that's why she didn't show up.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Jessica St. Louis?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
She had called, she's gonna be out of town for the next 2 weeks. Could we hold it
So we
and
hold
have
that one?
her appear?
Okay.
um,
I don't think- Not enough room here. Okay,
April 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were gonna clean up all these leftovers.
yeah, I know, so it's gonna sit here and, okay, whatever.
That's not your problem, Mickey.
No, it's not.
Right.
The lame duck, it's not, the lame ducks don't have any
Quack,
say-so.
quack.
Okay, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are all issues. I'm glad Nick's coming back here.
I move to place on file all of those items you just
10 through,
mentioned.
10 through 14?
Correct.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Give me a minute.
We didn't, no, we're just placing it on file.
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
Nick says they surrendered their license. That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we, yeah, there's a new bar that's moving in there. They surrendered their license at the time that the new bar was approved. So there's nothing to revoke and there's nothing to appeal. There's nothing, it's done. So,
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigl.
On the unlikely chance, I mean, what does that operator's record say now? I don't believe it's likely, but would he possibly go to another municipality? I mean, I think we'd remember him, but would he go to another municipality? And I'm wondering what his record would show if he applied for a license wanted to open up somewhere else.
he could go to another municipality, he could come back here, whether or not we revoked him or not, we can, as Kayla said a few times before, we can admit or deny people.
We can deny him. I'm just wondering if a
If he
different
goes-
municipality would be aware of the problems that we had with him.
If we revoked him, I don't know if it would matter to another, well, it would matter certainly to another municipality. I don't know where it would show up. I don't think the
Yeah.
DOR keeps, do they keep a record of, a running record of stuff? This wouldn't go on CCAP.
No.
Well, that's interesting.
It's kind of an internal process as
Yeah.
opposed to something more overt than that.
Yeah.
They might, that municipality might call if they have a part in their application saying, have you ever had a liquor license before, or a bartender, not a bartender, but a Class A or
Yeah.
B? And they might call us, but that's about it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman
And
Rowe.
that's the alibi you're talking about right now? He's-
No, this is 60th remedy.
Oh, remedy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go down.
That's what I thought.
Okay, amended discussion.
Mr. Chair, on item 15, I think that we should bring in everyone except Torres, Martissa Torres. I'd start there and submit that.
Teresa Gonzalez, as we researched some of them, her license expired June of 2017, and she had appeared on August of 2013. So any violations that Teresa had, she's already appeared on that were before 2013.
Yeah, before that. Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Well, that's the possession.
Well, 2018, though, look at the 2018.
Yeah, endangering safety by use of a dangerous weapon.
March
In a
of-
disorderly conduct, domestic abuse.
So she's already been in front of us for all those.
No, not
No,
those.
no, only the possession.
Those two.
I
Those
see.
She
occurred
said-
in 18.
Yeah, because she
and
said it was 13 she was here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so anything before 13, we'd already dealt with.
Right.
So the domestic abuse, endanger, with a dangerous weapon, and the traffic are all fresh, so to speak.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Nick?
I did call the police department, she does have a valid license now, driver's license.
Okay.
Okay, I think that was missing, so she is valid.
Okay.
I also did
Mine says valid.
make contact with the Waukesha County DA's office just to see what happened in that other incident. And at least in the complaint, there's not an allegation of drugs or alcohol.
What are we talking
Sure,
about
that
now? Which,
impacts.
On Teresa Gonzalez,
Teresa?
on the March of 18, I
So
assume.
he's still gonna call her in anyway?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe we should.
So you were making a motion to bring in all these people?
All except Torres.
Yeah.
What's a tort?
versus all traffic.
Okay. Do I have,
A second.
is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. So I don't fill that out because we just.
And so for the record, those are all the soft denial that we go for.
Yeah.
Correct.
Based on their record having substantially complied with the license activity, correct?
OWIs.
But, right.
Right.
Except for
Well,
Maritza, who we're approving.
Well, but, Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigl.
I guess on that Teresa Gonzalez, I don't see how a domestic abuse substantially relates, I guess, I don't know.
Use
I
of a
think-
dangerous
I-
weapon.
not-
Use of a
Not
dangerous
so
weapon?
much that one, Alderman Weigel,
No,
yeah,
but
but it's
dangerous
the
weapon?
endangering
Yeah.
safety by use of a dangerous weapon, that is problematic.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming that the disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, that, because she's the one charged, she's not the victim
No.
in that situation.
Is it,
But
is
still.
it ever that they both get charged, or is it typically just one?
Not generally for criminal actions. For tickets, we do.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We oppose? Okay, then we have,
So I'm sorry, just for clarification, we denied Dombrowski, Gonzalez, Halsted, Rivera, and then approved Torres?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, Thank you.
okay, Patrick Zadowski?
I can walk upstairs real quick and see if anybody's up there.
Okay.
Do one of these.
Mr. Chair, do you want me to see if I can get these people to appear at recess on the 17th? Or no?
Bartenders on St. Patrick's Day?
Let it go, oh, yeah, that's right.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Been a while, I guess.
See, once again, you know, it didn't even hit me, you know? But being that you're in the business, yeah. No. we-
Maybe if we had a
sorry.
morning meeting.
Plus, we don't.
Maybe, maybe.
Before 6, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
There will be 2 recess appearances for new alcohol establishments.
Okay.
Crimson Club and one more.
Oh, okay. Somebody's applying for that, good.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to call.
No.
But I suppose everybody's busy. all-
No, not everybody. It's not like that. Maybe in 1982 it was like that, but,
The new recommendation is 3-foot separation for all people, so.
yeah, by then,
Oh, yeah.
2 meter.
He's not up there.
distance.
Mr. Chair, if I can.
Go ahead.
So I did talk with, it wasn't Patrick, it was his wife, when the alibi stuff was coming out, and I talked to him just generally to understand more what was going on or what happened. I did get I had a good discussion with her, and they weren't gonna bring back that bartender, or didn't bring back that bartender. And so I'm a little surprised they didn't show up if they were asked to do so, because that was a good conversation I had with them. I think it would be impactful for the committee to hear similar information. That wouldn't be them, is it? I don't know who that is.
What are we looking at?
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, wait.
I read through the complaint again, or what the police reports on it, and again, I think our concern was the level of cooperation from the owner. What did it take for us to get access to those videos?
My understanding, we got access to the videos the very next day.
Yeah.
The frustration was that we didn't get to see them right away. And in my review of the police reports, I understand the exact concern you have. What was relayed to me, and when I talked to the detectives and the officer on the case, is they were frustrated that it didn't seem like the Kozadowskis understood the severity of what had happened at that time. That it's because my understanding is that they didn't know it was focused on the establishment and the bar. And so they were out, I was told by Mrs. Kozadowski that they were out in Milwaukee, I think it was their anniversary or celebrating something, and they weren't in a position to drive back here to handle a situation like this, and they didn't think it was that big of a deal. There was shots fired, and we didn't have any access, we had nothing to do with it. Turns out the place did, unintentionally. And so that's where the confusion came in. Once they learned how serious it was, the next morning they were over there, and actually they had found significant parts of evidence related to the case. I think casings, a clip, and a flashlight or something along those
Or
lines.
was it laser sight or something?
Laser sight
Yeah.
that fell off that piece of junk gun.
Yeah. So the police missed the night before, and so.
Yeah. Mr. Chair?
Hold on, wait.
That was my personal concern on this issue, and I fully understand if somebody's out and the police, your phone rings late at night, because it is all like midnight-ish, right? And I don't believe it was the police that called them, it was the bartender that called. Do I understand that correctly from the report? It was the police that called?
No, it was the neighbors that called.
No,
their
but
shots.
who called the bar owner?
I believe the bartender called and the police talked to the bartender, or talked to the Kozadowskis on the bartender's phone, is my understanding.
Oh, okay. But somehow the idea that it was about shots fired didn't get into that conversation? Or they said, you know, I had 3 beers and I'm at home and I don't think I should be driving down to West Allis, because I don't believe they live in this, they live.
Yeah, I'll go talk to them.
I don't know the nature of the conversation.
Right, okay.
But Officer Jacobson was the one who initially made that, had the discussion, and Detective Belli informed me that it wasn't as overly clear to her in reviewing some of that stuff, how important it was to get that right away.
Right. And what I'd say is also, we got it the next day, I believe it's in the morning of the next day, correct? And it wasn't that old, oh, the videotape wasn't recording that night, you know, which we've seen, or there was something wrong with it, it was never turned on, right, which I've seen. I think, to me, it appears as the owner cooperated to the full extent that they were able to, as quickly as they were able to, so.
Mr. Chair, I have something to say, which I couldn't, I just had to step away. I have some big issues with this. Caught the last end of what you were saying, Alderman Weigel. I have big problems. This is the bartender, who is an employee of the license holder, served an individual who was open carrying a firearm in their establishment that license holder controls, must control. That individual, after drinking shots with said bartender, goes out and shoots his gun in the air, causing a huge disturbance to the entire neighborhood. Our police department gets multiple calls of shots fired. Our whole department swarms on that location, essentially. And that bartender then exchanges clothing with the guy who shot the gun outside to assist him in thwarting the police. And then he takes off, and of course that bartender is uncooperative with the police. This isn't a problem with just the bartender. This is a problem with the license holder as well. And, which may or may not be appropriate, this is an establishment that we've had problems with in the past. I think that some action by our council is appropriate here on the license. I don't think revocation's appropriate, but some action is appropriate. What I'm talking about is some sort of suspension for a time.
And I would just caution.
And I shouldn't say that, because
Right. I
then
would just caution
that's on the other side.
Before
Yeah,
the
thank
before
you.
the hearing, before we have any judgment on what's going on, we'd have to have a hearing and see what's going on first with that, but just so that's aware.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair?
Nick's right, I shouldn't have said that part.
Alderman Kevin. Yeah, and we have been getting letters from neighbors as members of this committee, also about stuff going on in that bar. So what do we have to do to get him in here? I think it's summons and complaint right now, correct?
I can issue one and see if there's other encounters that we've had.
Because obviously talking to him didn't work because you thought he was going to be here tonight.
I didn't tell them to be here. I talked to them when I was issuing a summons complaint against the bartender.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago, and I was trying to make sure, when that had gone through, there was some concern at the committee's side that, in the pendency of that they weren't having her working there, and so I wanted to hear from them if that was somebody they had still working there, and I was assured not. And they were willing to fully cooperate with whatever the committee wanted them to do. That's what I was told by Mrs. Kozadowski.
And I agree with Alderman Haas, shots fired is pretty serious stuff.
And we sent them a letter saying that they have to appear.
Yes, it should be in the jacket.
So,
Now we have to send them a
Should we
summons
wait?
and complaint.
you want to send us summons and
Yeah,
complaint?
Mr.
or do
Chair,
you wanna-
I move for a summons and complaint.
Second.
Okay,
You signed that summons and complaint?
He signs it as the chair, not as an individual.
Right, it's the chair that's
Yeah.
got it. It's the position that's signing it, not the, got it.
yeah, and this, I still have until April 20th. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman.
I guess I'll stand corrected because I was not looking at the totality of the situations that have been there. So I would still say on this particular incident that the owner acted as he could. But looking at the whole history there, yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Once again, I'm not feeling it, no. Is there anything else?
We adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We are now adjourned.
Okay.